After the trilogy of the Red Curtain, what led you to go back to your roots and shoot an epic film full of love, adventure, action, everything?
Well, two things really. I mean, one led the other, but always sitting there in my mind was a love for that older cinema that allowed there to be, you know, broad comedy and romance, action, drama, like a film like Gone with the Wind. But a personal journey too, because my children, we've had them since Moulin Rouge, and we were living in Paris, and Sim and I were asking the question, who are they? Where is their home? So they led us back to our home to start to investigate the story, and in doing that, I found my home too. I found it in a new way, in a way in which it hadn't existed before. And I think that I brought these two things together in the film. You know, the film became a personal journey and a cinematic journey.
Australia seemed the perfect place for an epic film, for the landscapes, for the characters, for all the passions. So how do you see Australia? Like the last frontier, the last big frontier?
I didn't, because I began by saying I'm going to use my own country as a canvas to paint a story on. But then I took the perspective of the character played by Nicole Kidman, of a woman for whom this land is far, far away, and she finds herself caught out there in sort of comedy situation. But then her emotions are transformed, as I hope the audiences are, by the landscape, by the relationship with the drover, by the magic and mystical things that happens to her.
In the film you deal with a very important chapter of Australian history, the stolen generation. Did you feel a big sense of responsibility at the very beginning, and how did you want to portray this reality?
You know, in the beginning, I wouldn't say I hid this idea, but I didn't make a lot of noise about it. I focused on the romance, because one is an entertainment, the other is a serious issue that is a big dark chapter in the history of our country. And I felt I could take this bitter pill, this difficult thing, and put it inside something that was enjoyable to eat. And I spent a lot of time, I worked with an Aboriginal filmmaker, side by side, with incredible Indigenous actors. And finding even the little boy was a huge journey, seeing 1,000 boys we did, and even just to work with him I had to go and live and hunt with his family. So actually this part of it was not difficult. It was actually, that was a good part of it. It was a joy. It was a privilege and exciting and an adventure. But then bringing the two things together, that was hard, you know.
Do you identify with the two characters of Sarah and Drover? Because a writer, a director often has something in common with his characters.
Yeah, I do. I think to a certain extent all my characters have some derivation of me in them. You know, I mean, obviously I'm not, well, I don't think I am Nicole, or I'm not King George, but I do understand, for example, from the Sarah point of view, the idea in my life of being at a certain point where I might feel, I might give up on the sense of spiritual growth, you know, or adventure, or possibility. It's easy to do that. And it's, you know, you have to make an effort to live deeply, to live real, to find depth in your life. You have to make an effort to do that. And you have to put yourself outside your comfort zone. And I think you have to get prepared to put up with people judging you. You know, like society judges her relationship with the drover. Society says it's wrong. Society judges that family. They want to be a family of an English aristocrat and a working class man and a mixed race Aboriginal boy and you know, an old Aboriginal magic man. And society want to say, can't have that. That's wrong. And you know, I think that's a part of me that I'm exploring in the character. And with Drover too, you know, Drover is someone who could easily have given up on love or retreated. And you know, in a world that's really, really in fear, you know, I hope this film can encourage people in their own way. You don't have to go to Australia, although by all means you're welcome. But to, in your own life, to examine, could you be stronger in living?
Thank you very much.
Grazie.